Hey crafters, this is Nye here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to assemble our Valentine candy machine paper box. I have my art glitter glue that I will be using for most of my gluing. I also have some Mod Podge here that I will be using to glue down some of my confetti between my acetate layer and part of my box. And I have a paintbrush here, just an old paintbrush that I will use to help secure some of my confetti so that way it doesn't all just sink to the bottom when I stand my box up. You'll see when we get to it and I'll kind of explain it a little bit more. I also have a glue stick here that I will use with these side pieces just to kind of help me bend and break up the fibers here in this paper. All right, so I think that's it for now. You can see that I've got all of the pieces cut out here. I don't really have them like stacked up in any order except for these over here. You can see I've got these three pieces here together that are going to be the front of our machine. And that's really it. So let's just dig in and start gluing and assembling here. All right. So you're going to notice that we've got these three pieces that are solid here. These, this one here doesn't kind of have this top part here with the heart. So that's going to be the insert piece. And you can tell that that one is different. But for these two pieces, these two have our score lines on them. And you can notice though that one of the two will have the little circle marker here in the bottom of the machine piece here. All right. And so what we want to do is we want to look for the side pieces that also have that circle marker, because those are the pieces that are going to go with this one here. And so my paper is kind of sticking to my table. And so you can see these three here all have that circle marker. And so these ones are going to kind of be the ones that are assembling together. Now, when you go and you create the score marks inside of the file and before you actually cut, when you pull it off your mat, if you ever have a hard time seeing these score lines here, what you can do is just grab a flashlight and then just kind of shine it or tilt the light onto it until you can see those score lines, okay? It's just another way that if you just ever have some difficulty and you can't figure out what's what, then that's just another little tip to kind of help you. Or you could just put it right beside a window and that will, the extra light from outside will just kind of help you to see that. So I just wanted to drop that little tip there for you in case you ever have difficulty trying to see the score lines there. All right, so we're going to start here now with this side piece that has the two tabs at the end. And we're going to start also with the circle marker pieces here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to start by folding right on those score lines, okay? If you want, what you can do is you can use your bone folder to help you to make sure that those score lines, as you're folding them, get defined and that they make that crisp 90-degree angle. All right, let me do this tab down here too. You also want to make sure that you are pulling or bending these tabs here that are along the side of it. Okay, these side pieces here are what we're going to actually use to kind of adhere to the cardstock. All right, so once you get them going, then you want to fold it so it kind of looks a little bit like this. All right, we're going to kind of create like a, I don't know, I guess you could say it's like a U or an open box there at the top. All right, now we're going to take our candy machine piece here that has our circle, and we're going to add glue right along the side here. And so you can see the score line. We're just going to add glue right there. Then we're going to take the side piece that we just folded and we're going to line it up right along that score line. So we're not going right to the edge of the paper. We're going to go just a little bit on the inside there. All right, so I'm going to tilt mine here just a little bit so I can see a little bit better. But me seeing a little bit better might not make it easy for you guys to see a little bit better, but I'll tilt it back in just a moment. And you want to get as close to that line, or at least right on top of that line, as much as possible, okay? if you go a little too far over, you might find that we're gonna run out of paper, okay? So we wanna go over as close as possible, or at least right on top of that line. And then you can kind of fold it down just to make sure that it's adhering. And you can only do that for that side, because once we glue down the other side, then it won't work. All right, so then we're gonna do the same thing right here along the bottom. Just follow right along that score line there. And then just press it down again, right there on the score line. And so if you have any glue that kind of seeps out, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world, it'll be fine. Hold it there for like maybe 5 seconds, just give that glue a chance to dry. And then we're gonna do the same thing up here along the top. Again, just adding that glue there and then pressing it down. Okay. If you have to, you might need to just bend the paper in just a little bit to make sure that it ends up along that score line there. All right. I'm a little bit higher here at the bottom, so I'm just gonna pull that down just a little bit. I can tell because it's a little off up here at the top. There we go, that was better. Okay, and so when you have it glued down, then just kind of come in here and pinch the corners here just to make sure that it is making almost like that 90-degree angle there. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we've got our second piece here, and this is where our glue stick's gonna come in. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll this along the paper, and you can see that immediately it just kind of breaks up those fibers in there and makes it a little bit easier to curl. That's what we're really going for there. And I'm just going to bend down these side pieces again one more time. You could do that first if you want before you try to curl it, or you can do it after, like what I'm doing here. All right, and then once you have it there, we can start to glue. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add a little bit of glue here now to this part of the tab, because we want the tab to glue on the inside. And then we're going to add glue again right to the inside of that score line that's going all the way around. You want a good bit of glue. I used a lot there because we want it to make sure that it's secure. So then we're going to take our side piece here, the second one there, and we're going to take the inside here, and we're going to line it up with this part of the tab. And then we're just going to press down those kind of like teeth there along the edge, right along, again, the inside of that score line, or at least right on the score line, not necessarily the inside, but right on the score line there. All right, and then just give it a moment and make sure that it's adhered and it's glued down. All right, so that looks good. Then the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to actually do something a little bit differently. Normally I just work my way all the way around, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue now to this second tab that's on the other side, a good amount of glue again, and then I'm going to add glue all the way to the other side where it's going to meet. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down the tab first here, kind of give it a moment, and then I'm just going to press, oh, I'm going to have to tilt it a little bit. I'm going to press this down so that way it lines up right at the edge there. Okay, so just press everything down right on the inside so it's all lining up. All right. Okay, so once you've got that piece glued down, then you're good to go, and you can see how you just kind of created it right there. Oh, I must have had some glue on my table. All right, so that looks good. Okay, so now this piece here is going to be the front of our candy machine, okay? You'll see how it comes through when we go to put it together. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing for the other side, okay? So we've got the other piece here, which is gonna be the back, and you can take a look at this piece and you can see that our score line goes all the way down to the bottom, and we've got it also here in the top. So we're gonna do the exact same steps, and I'm gonna speed up the video here for this part, okay? Okay, so I decided to talk. What we're gonna do though, that's a little bit different for this one, is we're going to line this one right up against the edge here. So I'm a little bit in the camera because I'm holding it here. But we're going to take this side piece and just like I said, we're gonna line the edges up right so that way they're at the complete edge here. And I went down a little bit further, so I needed to just bring this up just a little bit more. Okay. And then once you have it, just make sure that all of the tabs here on the inside are pressed down and glued and they are adhering to your paper. All right, and then we're going to now just go all the way across by adding a little bit of glue here again to the bottom. And like I said before, we're going to go all the way to the edge of this one. So just line it up right along the edge there. So let me see if I can angle this here a little bit so you guys can kind of see it's right along the edge. It's flush right there on the side, okay? All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing up here. And again, if you need to, just bend the paper in along the side to get it all the way up there to the top. And once you have it lined up on the side, you're good to go. All right, I'm just gonna bend it here just a little bit there. All right, so that looks good there as well. All right. And now we'll do the same thing with this other side piece here to do the top. So this time I'll go this way. I'll just bend these kind of like teeth here first. And then we'll use our glue stick to curl the paper and break up the fibers there. All right. I guess I couldn't just stop talking, right? All right, so here we go. We're just gonna use the glue stick, run this a couple of times here through it, just breaking up those fibers. It makes the paper a little bit easier to work with. All right, then we're gonna do the same thing again, adding glue to this tab here. And then same thing, we're gonna add the glue right on the inside here of our score line. And then when we go, I'm gonna go about halfway there. And then I'm going to glue this piece together, and hold it and just give it a moment to kind of dry. And then again, I'm going to press this down right here on the inside part of the score line, or at least right on the line. All right, and this is kind of hard because when you have it down on your table, it's really hard to see the score line. It's really hard to know like if you're actually on the score line or if you've gone over the score line, you know, like you're on this side of it. And what will happen though is if you stay too far on this side, you'll actually run out of paper when you go on to the other side, when you try to glue the other side down. All right. So once you have that there, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to glue this tab first, or we're going to add glue to the tab first. We're going to add glue to the inside here, kind of going all the way to where we were, or where we stopped, I should say. And then we're going to glue this part down first here. And then we're going to press it down. I should turn it this way so I can see. Then we're going to press it down so that way those teeth are right there on the inside, okay? And that looks great. Okay, and just press it down there. If you've got glue coming through, like I used a lot of glue there, that's okay too. It'll be fine. Okay, and so this piece here, our red piece that didn't have the heart there at the top, it's gonna go right in here on the inside of this second one that we did that did not have the circle, okay? This is gonna be kind of the backing piece here or the back piece of our box. And what we just kind of want to do is hide some of these tabs. So that way when the box is open, you don't see all of the teeth that are there and kind of like any glue residue. It doesn't make it look pretty. And so this just kind of hides that and kind of covers it up a little bit for us. So just press it down, you know, add glue to the back there, and then just place it on the inside and we're good to go. Okay, and so now once you have both of these done, you can just fit it inside and it's good to go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are ready to add to the front here. So I'm going to leave this out so that way we can do the front and it'll be easier to work with. All right, so this is where these three pieces will come in. We're going to take this white piece here and that's going to go down here. We're going to glue this down to the front of our box here. And all we're going to do is we're going to add glue now to the back here. Okay, so again, I just added a good bit of glue there. I'm holding it now between my fingers here, and I'm going to use my fingers as a guide to make sure that I get it lined up. And I'm going to press it down. And you can see like using your fingers as a guide is so quick and easy. It just, it works beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this opening of the red to the black piece here. And we're kind of going to work a little bit backwards because we're going to add our confetti to the inside. All right, so I'm adding glue to here. I'm going all the way around, making sure that I add glue everywhere because I want to make sure that it's all glued down. And I'm going to use my fingers, hold them again together, and then just glue them down once more. Okay, and that looks good. And so the only part that really didn't have any glue here was this like XOXO part in the front, and that's all right. Okay, now the next part that we're going to do is we're going to take our acetate sheet, and this one kind of looks like it got a little bit of dirt on it. You guys know that I'm like pretty OCD about my acetate here, but I think it'll be all right. Okay, and so what we're going to do is I've still got the back part here of this. We're going to glue this down first, okay? And so all we're going to do is just add glue around the edge. I'm not going to add glue in the center with the XO because I don't want any part of my confetti to kind of like get stuck there. I'm going to make sure that I add a lot of glue here though to the bottom or to this part here because I want to make sure that it's secure. All right, and so there we go. And I'm just pressing it down so you can see it right there. Okay, that looks great. Let me just grab this off my table. I think I ripped part of it right there, but it's okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and add our confetti down. And so this is where our Mod Podge is going to come in. So I'm just going to open this up a little. And what I'm going to do is, if you've been following me and you know me, when I make a shaker, I don't like all of my confetti to fall to the bottom. That bothers me because I kind of go, well, what's the point of having it if it's all just going to sink to the bottom? So I like to take a little bit of Mod Podge, and all I do is I just kind of add a little bit of glue all over because I want to make sure that my confetti kind of stays to the top. Like I like to see some of it. And so I just added a little bit of glue there. I added actually a lot. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to use my confetti here. And this is where you kind of have to be really, really careful because you don't want to end up with your glitter all over your table. Like I like the glitter, but that bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you guys, but it definitely bothers me when it happens. And so we're just gonna place some of it down here. And so I just put a little bit on my fingers, and I'm using my fingernail to just kind of scrape it off here. I'm gonna add a little bit more. You can be generous as you wanna be without like going crazy. All right, so again, I'm getting it on my table, but that's okay. And just pick it up there. And then when I'm done, I will clean it up because it just gets everywhere. I'm gonna add a little bit more, and that's probably enough for now. Okay, I forgot to close my bag, so I'm gonna do that in a second too. Let me just make sure I get all of these little pieces. Okay, let me close this up. All right, so it's not gonna be a shaker candy machine because we're not adding foam tape everywhere. If you really wanted to, you could do that, but you would have to make sure that you added foam tape here along the bottom of this circle part of the machine. Otherwise, all your confetti will fall down and you won't be able to see it like down here, okay? You wanna make sure that you keep it contained where the acetate is. So you can go ahead and use foam tape to kind of go all the way around to give it that shaker effect if you wanted to make it a shaker, but just make sure that you add it here as well, okay? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our piece that's the front and we're gonna add glue to the back everywhere here. Well, not everywhere, let me rephrase. So we're adding it to the bottom everywhere, and then we're just gonna add it around the edges as well. Okay, and again, make sure that you add enough glue to the bottom so that way none of your glitter will fall down. All right, and then just go ahead and hold it between your fingers and press it down. Make sure that when you're pressing it down, you're pressing all the way around where your acetate layer is in that circle, so that way you're sealing it up, okay? And it doesn't, there's no opening or possibility for the glitter to escape, because that would not be good. Okay. And so once you have that, then you can see like some of it will stay and some of it will drop down, okay? Fun, I love it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add the pieces to the front, which is just these little black pieces that lights, you know, like it's the opening, the turn knob part, and kind of where you would put the money for the candy to feed the machine, I guess you could say. All right, and so this is the easiest part now, is just kind of adding these decor pieces, and just like I said, just a little bit of glue. And then I'm just kind of eyeballing them where they go down. This black piece obviously is going to fit perfectly here at the bottom, but the arrow that's the center here, obviously use your judgment, you know, don't put it off to the side here or there. Don't put it too close to the bottom. Just kind of eyeball it in the center of where you want it to go. Same thing with making sure that it's kind of on that 180-degree angle and it's not like tilted at all. And then we're going to just add this circle part here, and then we're going to press it down. And there we go. And so once you have that part, it's all good to go. And then you'll notice that this is the front, but it fits inside the back. And that was designed for a very special reason. And it was designed that way because if we did it the other way, it would have been really top heavy and the box would have just kept falling over. And so by putting the larger part of the box at the back, that kind of keeps it upright. So that way it's a freestanding box for us, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed crafting your own candy machines. Be sure to send me a picture. I would love to see. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you have fun crafting. Thanks for watching. Bye.